So if you're watching this, it's probably because there's a lot of sellers in your organization, or you've had maybe some challenges getting them to adopt your CRM or your different applications. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Often we see that it's difficult to use or time consuming, or they just don't see any value in this. So a lot of that has to do with training, communication, and really changing their perception. But there are some other things in there that shouldn't be avoided. Are they getting the reporting that they need? Is it efficient or is it inefficient? So those things as well from a technical avenue should also be addressed, as well as the people side. So resistance comes in a lot of different ways. These are some of the things that we hear pretty often, like when we're talking to various sellers, they say, hey, this is too hard to use, or this isn't efficient for me, whatever. But I think you also get resistance when you're moving from a comfortable tool to an uncomfortable tool, and just getting that ramp up can cause resistance. There's fear of the unknown, and we need to all recognize that it takes time to learn a new skill. So double clicking on resistance management, we put this little blue star at passive resistance. That's the one that we see the most often. It's pretty rare that you see someone in active resistance where they are verbally saying, I'm opposed to this change, I'm going to work against this change, etc. Most of the time you see more of a passive resistance in your seller community. They're not engaging, they're not participating, they might withhold information. They're maybe unhappy behind the scenes, but to your face, they're like, okay, this is fine. What we want to do is move them from passive resistance more into compliance and ultimately supporter. Compliance, you're going to do some really great things there. So they're accepting the change. They're overall optimistic. They're not doing anything negative. Supporter is really your change agent. They're so stoked. They're talking about it in their free time. That's kind of a big dream, right? So just getting people to be really more optimistic rather than pessimistic is really the goal. So I mentioned briefly about kind of there being two lenses around adoption. Obviously, the people side is so important, but there's also some technical features that can help drive adoption. Here are some things that come up when you're looking at, D365 customer engagement, or really, what Microsoft has to bring to the table. And I'll start with a unified interface. Obviously, anything Microsoft is going to have that seamless integration. They are always doubling down on this area. You see it all the time with things like their Copilot releases and stuff like that. And so everything is seamlessly integrated. If you're doing a sales call on Teams, you can then track that call in Dynamics. You can have transcripts. You can have follow-up action items in Dynamics, kicked back to Outlook, and all of it just seamlessly is interconnected. On that same vein, you have AI-driven insights. So help our sellers get to the core of what the customer really needs and provide that really high-end experience for them. It also can automate processes, so make it more efficient, reduce that manual data entry, make it something that sellers want to use because it makes them sell more and they're more efficient with it. And then lastly, this kind of goes without saying, but they can really customize the experience for themselves. When they sign in, they can have their own dashboard with what's important to them, have everything about 1 or 2 clicks away. So that's kind of the technical side.